2019 BMW i8.
Always wondered how much the biggest YouTubers make.
Let's be honest, me and you have both seen it. All these ultra-rich young men preaching the ancient trade of dropshipping and desperately trying to get you to join them. All this while slowly hooking you in by filming this in their luxurious supercars. But wait, I know what you're thinking. How can something so rewarding look so easy? Does it even work? I mean, surely it must be a scam. But before I can do that, we need to actually understand what dropshipping is and how it actually works. Now, there's various sorts of dropshipping, but AliExpress Shopify dropshipping is one of the most popular and discussed. Now don't worry, all these questions will be answered. This process is very self-explanatory and consists of 3 steps. Step 1. You have to locate a product on a Chinese website called AliExpress. This product could be anything, from essential office supplies to toys and accessories for children. But one very important thing to keep in mind is that you'll need a product that will actually add value to potential customers' lives in order to actually build a successful and scalable business. Step 2. Once you find your multi-million-dollar product, you can now proceed to make a website using Shopify, which will advertise your product to a certain extent and bring in customers and create a smooth payment process, aka all the dollar bills.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
The backbone behind this process relies heavily on the fact that you'll be selling the product for a higher price that you bought it for. This can be double or even triple the price depending on the market. Shopify then works to advertise your product to some degree, but still not as much as we want it to. So by this point, you now have a customer who's prepared to pay for the product you're advertising. So you take their payment and shipping details and go to AliExpress to place an order for their item to be delivered to the specified address. Think about it. Now you've made a very good amount of profit without actually spending any of your money. But it's not as simple as it seems. The steps I've mentioned so far require a lot more innovation and brainpower to do correctly. Well, let's peel a layer back. When looking for a product, you can't just go on a whim and buy the cheapest thing you find. Because guess what? You won't get very far. You usually have to choose a product that will actually start a trend and catch people's attention through the use of social media. This means something that is an asset to people's lives, something that provides value. However, another thing that you have to assess when selecting your product is the competitiveness of said product. For example, if I try to sell a product which has already been in trend for a long time, it means that the market is already heavily saturated with other sellers, all trying to advertise and sell the same thing. It will end up with my product eventually getting lost in all the chaos. But all this means is that you have to be innovative and creative. You have to find a product that has that wow factor and solves a problem. But do keep in mind that this will require a lot of research.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now let's move on to website creating. When creating a website, you have to keep it simple but also professional. Think of it as a sleek Mercedes, professional but simple. Having a website with a bunch of colors and confusing pop-ups will only put potential customers off. Now, moving on to one of the most difficult things to master, advertisement. When creating an ad, you have to make it somewhat professional because, let's be honest, you doing a skit by yourself on a 10-year-old laptop is not going to attract any customers. If anything, it's going to have the opposite effect. However, said professionalism will come at a cost. You can have a really good ad, but then have to hire professional cameramen, hire actors, editors for every product you want to start selling. But as you can imagine, this costs a ridiculous amount of money and time. Or you can get a slightly mediocre ad by getting together with a few friends and thinking of a script. Either way, whichever path you choose, you're going to have to compromise and sacrifice certain aspects, depending on how much you're willing to put in. Another key piece of information in the ad making process is you have to remember that the first few seconds of your ad have to be extremely detailed and so eye-catching that it will stop people from scrolling. Marketing. Now when it comes to marketing, typically you're going to want to start something like an Instagram account. You can hire other Instagram pages with high engagement rates to promote your ads and products. But most people recommend starting up your own Instagram page to slowly build up your own loyal audience. But hold on, things aren't as smooth sailing as you think. Not everyone's just going to come along and buy your product. Dropshipping also comes with lots of negatives. To begin with, dropshipping directly from AliExpress offers very little to no customer support. The arrival date is out of your control and frequently things are delayed or even arrive damaged. Not to mention you have zero control of what shipping line the customer uses, so more than likely they'll have to wait a very long time. And yep, you guessed it. This leads to extremely negative reviews and just a bad reputation for your store and products. This has actually led to the demise of many AliExpress dropshippers and is a difficult obstacle to get past. Another big issue is competition. It may sound unfair and stupid, but another dropshipper can come along, notice your product has potential, completely steal your idea and just do it better than you did, ultimately kicking your store to the curb. Not only do you have to protect your ideas and make sure you do them better than everyone else, but if, and that's a very big if, you do manage to do this and put your Shopify store on top, a Shopify business is extremely difficult to scale up in terms of how much money you're bringing in. This may come as a surprise to you, but PayPal and Shopify do not like it when you're dropshipping at a high level. This is because of the fact that since people have to wait a long time for their product, these very same customers may end up giving up and do a chargeback, which will end up hurting the relationship between PayPal and the banks. So Shopify will end up looking at you, the seller, and blaming you. You may end up with them holding onto a portion of your income, or even shutting you down completely. As you can see, dropshipping has a lot of pros, but the negatives that come along with it can never be overlooked. Aside from actual dropshippers, there's a small percentage of innovative people that didn't just see the struggles of dropshipping as it was, but instead, they thought outside the box. They saw a gap in the market, they saw opportunity, and they thought, you know what, all these dropshippers are struggling. Why don't I create a tool that can help them with their experience in dropshipping? Whether it be a tool that helps them manage their purchases, keep track of the market, or even predict the success rate of products, and I can charge them a fee. A big reason as to why a select few people are actually successful making these tools is due to the fact that there's a lot more dropshippers compared to the amount of people making these helpful tools. Therefore, the creators of said tools have the leverage and the advantage. What generally happens is that these websites and tools end up making more money than the actual dropshippers themselves. Dropshipping creators also benefit from this hype train around dropshipping, creating courses that teach the fundamentals behind dropshipping and teach ways to bypass the problems we mentioned earlier. Some have labeled these courses as outright scams and not worth it, but some see it as incredibly helpful and something that provides knowledge that you can't find as easily anywhere else. To conclude, dropshipping started off being a goldmine for many up-and-coming entrepreneurs, but it's slowly starting to shift into a business that's more risky and requires a lot more brainpower and research than it did before. And the problem nowadays is that people see dropshipping as their easy ticket out to success, and that they can achieve it without trying. And the harsh reality is that if you don't take it seriously and do your research, you will fail.
You commit to something, little gifts just start automatically showing up. It's a phenomenal thing. It's happened my whole career. When I fully commit, somebody will bring me something.
Okay.
And then look, then keep your eyes open. And by the way, the package may come wrapped in a package you weren't thinking about.